What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Wighty here today. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Good Friday and that you'll all have some good downtime, some family time this Easter weekend for those of you who celebrate. Today, we already have episode number 43 of the JuiceBox, which is going to be an outlook into the first round of the NBA playoffs, which kicks off tomorrow with 4 first-round matchups at 1 p.m. Eastern. But before we get into that, just a reminder that, of course, you can join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/lockcity for only $5 a month. This is going to get you access to every cheat sheet every day across all major active sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sports-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. Over the last few days, we've had a couple of absolute monster hits in there. Yesterday, we obviously cashed that 2-leg home run parlay in my channel for $1,900 or 19 units, with Cal Raleigh and Tyler Soderstrom both going yard. That was a huge play. The day before that, we saw Lenny smash a gorgeous, I think it was plus 4,600, so like 47 times your money. Soccer parlay, it went over the course of 2 days, 2 days worth of matches. That was an absolute beast of a play. Brought home $1,200, so 12 units off of only a $25 play or 0.25 units. The day before that, the Heat and Bulls game. Again, in my channel, we had a nasty 4-leg player prop parlay. We needed Giddey for 20 points and a double-double. We needed Vucevic to double-double and Tyler Hero to drop 25. That one brought home $887 off of $100. It was plus 787 boosted on Bet365. So we profited 7.87 units from a 1-unit play on that one. Between those 3 plays alone, that's a 40-unit profit, which is $4,000 for all of my $100 bettors and $400 for all of the $10 bettors, so on and so forth. So that's not anywhere near close to all that we've been hitting over the last couple of days. We've swept the KBO cheat sheet, the MLB cheat sheets have been firing, the pick of the day, the JuiceBox locks, everything's been hot, and we're only charging $5 a month for all this content. That's wap.com/lockcity. Get instant access for only 16 cents a day. So today, of course, we're going to be hopping into the first round of the NBA playoffs. Western Conference and Eastern Conference pretty much set for the first round. There's going to be 2 games occurring tonight that are going to determine the 8th seeds in the respective conferences. So we have the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks happening tonight, and the Dallas Mavs and the Memphis Grizzlies. Both of those teams are going to end up playing the Thunder and the Cavs respectively, so it's not really going to matter, unfortunately, for those teams who wins these games tonight. So we can kind of dive into a first round preview without further ado, because again, neither of those 2 games are going to matter in the grand scheme of things. The only thing to be wary of is that we do not have odds obviously available for some of those series in terms of series betting. So we'll hop into the Western Conference first. We won't do this respective of games that start tomorrow. We'll just dive through the entire first round matchups at a glance, going through the Western Conference first, going through the Eastern Conference, and picking out some best bets at the end, of course, for our JuiceBox locks, which are going to be some series bets here. So with the Western Conference, we'll just go top teams first and work our way down here. So the 1 versus the 8 seed. 1 seed obviously is our Oklahoma City Thunder. They finished with a 68-14 record, and the 8 seed that they're going to play is going to be either the Grizzlies or the Mavs. The Grizzlies, they look good this year. They finished with a 48-34 record. The Mavs were 39-43. Obviously a shit show going on over at the Mavericks organization between the Luka trade. Obviously not news to anybody. Without going into that too much, we'll kind of dive into things here. So my series prediction for this one, regardless of who ends up winning here, I think the Thunder probably take this in 4 games. I think it's going to be a sweep. So from a series winner perspective, again, not going to matter who wins the Grizzlies and Mavs game tonight for the 8 seed. Oklahoma City had the best defensive rating in the NBA. They had the 3rd best offensive rating, and obviously the only team in the league to be top 3 on both offense and defense. Their net rating was plus 12.7 points in the league, and that was per 100 possessions plus 12.7 points. That was the 2nd best ever recorded in NBA history. So a great unit coming out of OKC here. Great team. Obviously, they got the MVP there in Shea. They're looking great. So if the Mavs win tonight, I like the Thunder to win in 4 games, and I will likely eye the -3.5 series spread when that becomes available. So that means that the Thunder win 4-0. If the Grizzlies win, I think G.I. Joe and Memphis might be able to squeak potentially a lucky game at home, but in all likelihood, I think it's going to be the same result here. I think it's going to be a sweep. I don't see the Thunder dropping a game in the first round. I think the -3.5 is probably a good bet there. I'd be a little wary if the Grizzlies come out on top. Maybe look at fading it altogether, but Either way, Thunder win that series. Rockets and Warriors, that's going to be our 2 seed and our 7 seed. So the Rockets finished with a 52-30 overall record. The Warriors finished with a 48-34 overall record. So only 4 games separating the 2 seed and the 7 seed here in the Western Conference. This one here, I know a lot of people are on the Rockets, but I'm taking the Warriors in 6. So obviously Houston's sole focus for the duration of this whole series is going to be trying to slow down Steph Curry. So over the regular season, Curry averaged 68 touches per game, but when he played the Rockets, he only averaged 62 touches per game. During every other team in the league, he averaged 20.1 shots per 36 minutes, but only 15.5 per 36 minutes against the Rockets. So Amin Thompson's been an integral part of this, Dylan Brooks to some extent, but obviously on the Warriors side of things, they're going to be prepping to help get the best shooter of all time ample looks to try and help them carry deep into the Western bracket. I think Houston's going to put up a bit of a fight here, obviously. So in 6 games, I think they'll take 2. I think they'll probably win one of the 2 that they have at home, maybe even 2 that they have at home. Maybe it's 2-2 going back to... or 2-2 going back to Houston. I don't know. Warriors are going to have to win, obviously, 1 in Houston here at least in order to make this happen, or 2 in Houston to make this happen. But between playoff Curry and playoff Jimmy, this team now has 2 of the best players in the league when it comes to turning it on and giving it their all in the playoffs. The Rockets, again, I think they'll win a couple of games here, but the Warriors are winning this series as the 7 seed, in my opinion. The Lakers and the Timberwolves is going to be our 3 and our 6 matchup. So I think this one, Lakers taking this one in 6 games as well. So similar to the series before, I think this one's going 6. The Lakers are one of the teams, again, I could see going pretty deep, in the West Final. The Timberwolves are a solid team, don't get me wrong, as evidenced by the fact that the 3 and 6 seeds here, they're only separated by a game. So the Lakers have a 50-32 record, Timberwolves 49-33. The West, obviously, very, very close. Timberwolves are a great team. They'll put up a fight. I see Redick actually probably being intelligent enough to try and play some small ball here. So Jackson Hayes, not a good defensive rebounder. I think he'd probably get eaten alive by Rudy Gobert down there. I think we'll see LeBron probably play more center minutes than a lot of people are expecting. When the Lakers ran a lineup of Luka, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, and then LeBron at the center this season, they were outscoring their opponents by 19.4 points per 100 possessions. So I think both Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert are kind of, I don't want to use the word soft, but they kind of fade when it matters the most. I don't think Minnesota's going to have the rebounding advantage here that a lot of people are anticipating. I think the Lakers take this in 6. And our last series in the West is going to be the Nuggets and the Clippers. So this one, with everything that's going on with the Nuggets, I'm going to have to take the Clippers in this one. Again, I think this is probably a 6, maybe a 7-game series. I'm going to go Clippers in 6. I'm really excited to see how playoff basketball looks in the Intuit Dome. And this series obviously is going to be the first time. Obviously, it's the first year of the Intuit Dome. So the first time that we're going to see it in action for a playoff game. It's hard to have much confidence in the Nuggets here after their firing of Mike Malone right before the playoff run. And that could probably be a topic for a whole other podcast. But long story short, I don't think the spark is there for the Nuggets. And I think they're looking at an early exit here and probably a little bit of restructuring. So moving on to the East, our 4 matchups in the East are going to be, firstly, the Cavs and either the Heat or the Hawks. So again, Heat and the Hawks are playing tonight. Number 1 seed Cavs had a 64-18 overall record. The Heat were 37-45, and the Hawks were 40-42. So neither of these teams made it above 500. Series prediction for this one's going to be Cavs in 4. In my opinion, the Cavs are the most NBA Finals built team in the East. I'm also a diehard Pistons fan, which means I'm a Celtics hater, but I think the Cavs, although lacking significant deep playoff experience, will be the team to beat in the East here, as they have been all year for the most part. It doesn't matter who wins the Heat and Hawks game tonight again. So if it's the Heat, I'm saying probably Cavs in 5. If it's the Hawks, I think Cavs in 4. You're not going to find very much value here series betting on this one. I think the Cavs are like minus 8,000 or something. And like early odds previews, again, odds aren't fully released here on all of the books, or at least all the major books. But I think you could target the plus 3.5 series spread if the Heat win tonight. I think they have experience probably to win one game in Miami, I think. But all in all, 1 versus 8 seeds this year aren't really worth betting. They're super lopsided. Moving on to the 2 and 7, it's going to be the Celtics and the Magic. So this one, I think the Celtics in 6, 5 maybe. although the Magic won this season series, it was 2-1. Tatum obviously missed both of the games that the Magic won. So huge difference maker there. One came by a score of 108 to 104. The other one was a 20-point blowout, 96 to 76. Boston's lost a lot of games this year that they shouldn't have lost, including bad losses to the Raptors and the Hawks. Everyone wants to knock off the defending champs as well, and I think the Magic definitely win a game here. They've been gritty. They were able to beat them by 20 points, so if they're able to do that without Tatum, maybe they can squeeze a game or 2 games with Tatum. I really like the Orlando Magic plus 3.5 series spread here, though. I think that series spread is ridiculous. The value that we're getting on that, minus 158 for the Magic just to win 1 game, I think is pretty much a sure shot on FanDuel. That's one of my favorite lines here out of the first series. If you want to get risky and you think the Magic can win a second game, which means they either have to win games 3 and 4 at home, or they need to steal a game in Boston, which is going to be tough, and win 1 game at home, that line's going plus 350 at FanDuel. So if you think they can win 2, plus 350 may be worth the latter option, but I think the safe bet here, super safe bet here, is going to be Orlando Magic plus 3.5. All they have to do is win a game, minus 158. Moving on to the 3 and 6. My favorite series that I'm looking forward to the most is going to be the Knicks and my Pistons. So obviously in this series prediction, I'm going to ride hard here. I'm going Pistons in 6. The Pistons are getting disrespected across the league right now. I think there's probably no city in America, potentially in the world, that thrives better under scrutiny than the people in city of Detroit, Michigan. Again, obviously a Pistons fan and totally understand we haven't won a playoff game in 15 years, so it's going to be tough. And the advantage here for the Knicks, obviously their starting 5 has played 940 minutes together this year, which is the most in the league out of any starting 5. But this Detroit team's good. They've won 30 more games than they did last season. Over the last 50 games of the NBA season, they have the 6th best net rating in the league, and both a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. So they're going to be gritty here. They have a chip on their shoulder. They know that they had an absolutely horrible record last year, winning 14 games. They were able to turn that around, win 44 games this year. I think they give the Knicks a really, really hard time. The Knicks have been known to fold a little bit in the playoffs. They have Karl Anthony Towns this year instead of Julius Randle. I don't know. Cat's a good player, but I don't know that it's going to make, like, come playoff time, I don't know that it's going to make a huge, huge difference. I think Isaiah Stewart's going to be able to get under his skin. I think Jalen Duren's going to dominate on the boards here. I'm taking the Pistons in 6. I also like, so aside from the fact that the Pistons are a massive underdog here, you can get the Pistons at series betting at like plus 350, which I'm definitely going to throw a unit on. The series spread here is actually Pistons plus 2.5. So if you think the Knicks will win 4-1 or better, then obviously avoid it. I don't see that happening. I think the Pistons win at least 2 games here. Pistons plus 2.5 series spread is minus 172 on FanDuel. I absolutely love that line. The last one that we're looking at here is going to be the Pacers and the Bucks. This one I think is the toughest to call out of all of them. I'm going to say Bucks in 7, and I'll tell you why. Again, it's probably the one that I'm least comfortable calling. There's a lot of variables up in the air here. So Damian Lillard has thankfully been quickly cleared of his deep vein thrombosis. His return to action is going to be at some point in this series. It's good in a way, actually, that the Bucks have a 5 seed here, because they can hopefully look to having Dame back for games 3 and 4 where they're going to be at home. So even if they drop the first 2 in Indy, they get their all-star point guard back in front of their home crowd. I think that's going to be enough for them to even the series here and have it 2-2 going back to Indy. I think the last 3 games could go either way, but I'm going to give the edge here to the Bucks. These 2 teams faced off in the 3 and 6 matchup last season. The Pacers won that series 4-2. The Bucks have championship experience, and they obviously have a huge chip on their shoulder from last season going out in the first round of this Pacer team. So I think they edge the Pacers out. I think this is going to be tough, but I see them taking it in 7 games. It's not one of my favorites by any means, but if we're given leans, I think the Bucks take this one. So in terms of best bets, this is the part of the podcast where we get into our JuiceBox locks of the day. This is more so future looking. I don't know if you can call it a lock of the day, a lock of the series, more or less. But we're going to be throwing together 3 series bets into a little bit of a best bets parlay here. So the ones that we had kind of mentioned throughout the pod here, the first one's going to be the Pistons plus 2.5 series spread. So minus 172 on FanDuel. We need the Pistons to win at least 2 games. If they lose 4-2, they cover the plus 2.5. If they lose 4-3, great. If they win the series, we are over the moon, because I'm also going to series bet them for a unit. The next leg that we're going to have on here is the Orlando Magic plus 3.5 series spread. So I love the Magic to take at least one game off of the Celtics. I think it's going to go 6. I think it'll be Celtics in 6. But all we need here is Orlando to win one game at home, preferably. It will probably be the easiest, and plus 3.5 is looking at 158, or looking like 158 on FanDuel. The last leg that we're going to throw on here is going to be the Lakers to win the series over the Timberwolves. I really like the Lakers here. They're not going to go out in the first round. Luka made it all the way to the finals last season on the Mavericks. He's coming over to the Lakers. He's hungry, obviously. LeBron always wants to make a championship every year. The Lakers are going to make a deep run here. Their second round matchup, and we'll talk about that in the next pod here when we hop in for NBA playoff second round matchups as soon as these first round matchups conclude. It's going to be either the Warriors or the Rockets. I think that's going to be tough for them, but I think they could probably squeak it out, as much as I love the Warriors. But those are the 3 legs we're going to be going with today. We're going to take the Detroit Pistons plus 2.5 series spread, so we need them to win at least 2 games. The Orlando Magic plus 3.5 series spread, so we need them to win just 1 game. And the LA Lakers to win the series against the Timberwolves. So those 3 legs together come out to plus 297 on FanDuel. That's just under 4 times your money on FanDuel. I think that's super, super safe. I think that's an absolute lock for the series. I'm throwing 2 units on it. I absolutely love this play. Really looking forward to these series starting tomorrow. So that's pretty much it for this one here. Again, another reminder, wap.com/LockCity, only $5 a month. Get access to all of our plays for this NBA first round series, obviously game by game. Our player prop parlays, get access to all of our projections, everything that we have to offer. Only $5 a month, wap.com/LockCity. That's 16 cents a day. That's it for today. I think we have an NHL playoff rundown coming from Munz a little bit later. I don't know if that's coming out today or tomorrow. Obviously, stay tuned for all of our MLB. We do daily rundowns here on the JuiceBox podcast. There's no UFC this weekend. They got the weekend off for Easter. Make sure you stay tuned midweek next week, probably Monday or Thursday. I think I'm on the road Tuesday, Wednesday, so Monday or Thursday we'll be dropping that UFC podcast. And stay tuned. Obviously, nonstop content over in the Lock City Premium Discord. For those of you that aren't following us on Twitter, give us a shout over there. It's at _Lock City. And myself on Twitter at Wighty Wins. That's WIGHTY Wins at Wighty Wins. Give me a follow as well. And of course, the JuiceBox podcast at LC JuiceBox Pod on Twitter. We got nonstop content coming out there, some free content, teaser content. And then, of course, if you want to upgrade there, only 16 cents a day. It's $5 a month. wap.com/LockCity. Take care, y'all. Have an excellent Easter weekend, and see y'all on the next one. Peace.